Hey everyone, welcome to MT Guitar. Today I'm going to break down the song Needle in the Hay by Elliott Smith. This was an earlier song of his. So first I'm going to play it with a chord melody solo at the end. Then I'll break it down and talk about sort of the songwriting techniques he used and the production techniques. Really amazing how he puts his guitar parts together and songs together. And then I'm going to teach you how to play it. It's a great sort of 90s lesson in downstrumming, just constant downstrumming, which is a really good exercise for both your right hand and left hand. So let me play it first and then we'll break it down. Okay, so this song appeared on the Royal Tenenbaums 2001 classic film, kind of a dark scene. But yeah, it's also kind of a dark song. So there you go. There's some cultural context. I think it was on the soundtrack as well. As far as musically, this was off of Elliott Smith's second album, self-titled Elliott Smith. I believe it's when he was still in the band Heat Miser, which was kind of a punk rock band that was based in Portland, Oregon, and also on the East Coast, I think in Massachusetts somewhere. Early Elliott Smith, very stripped down kind of album with pretty much just acoustic guitar and vocals. And this was the first song off the album. So I'm admittedly more familiar with the later Elliott Smith. I have listened to all of Elliott Smith's albums. I'm a huge fan of his. I just sort of marveled at his songwriting. He's really a wonderful songwriter. I think one of the most underrated there is. Of course, he had a tragic death in the early 2000s. And, I don't think he gets his due. I mean, people who really listen to him, they really love him because it's kind of hard to explain why he was so great. But his songs, each song is just filled with amazing chord progressions, melodies, and lyrics, and that's what a song a lot of times is. He also was a master recorder. I mean, he played drums, keyboard, bass, guitar, vocals, and he played them all very well. He was a very good guitarist. He would often do things in a couple takes. Apparently on this song, his friend in Heat Miser who was recording him went up to get lunch, and by the time he came back, Elliott Smith had recorded this song completely, and the other guy was stunned. So yeah, he knew what he was doing when he was recording. So what the first thing we're going to talk about here is just the trickery that Elliott played in our ears. You'll see me sort of bouncing, so it's less obvious with my video. But if you listen to the studio recording, it sounds like this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... But it's actually not. And it kind of plays a trick on you. He starts on the and of 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. but you'd have no way of knowing until the hook comes in. Needle in the hay, not singing just the instrumental intro. And so I was working this out with a student of mine who wanted to learn this, and we were just marveling at the fact that I was like, okay, is there an added eighth note in the arrangement? It doesn't sound like Elliott Smith to make one bar of odd time. And then I realized, no, of course, he started on the and of 4. So he's not even starting on the downbeat. It's and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then the whole time it's and. Okay. Now, there's the verse and chorus pretty simply in the intro. One thing we should keep in mind is when he does needle in the hay, needle in the hay, he mimics that melody with his, with his guitar part. So it's needle in the hay, hay. And then right before the C chord, he drops that melody to a G, which is his vocal note, and then goes to the C chord. Needle in the hay. Here's the F over C. And then, again, the melody is going on that 3rd string or that G string. Oh, 1, 2, right? So a lot of times Elliott would employ this technique. Some call it vocal masking, where you have the vocal melody in the guitar part or in the keyboard part, but in this case, the guitar. So there you go. The melody's kind of in the guitar part. Speaking of the guitar part, if we look at the verse and chorus a little bit, basically we have 2 strings of an F sus. So you could think of this F as, okay, eventually he plays an F major 7, but for now, so this would be an F major 9 kind of thing with all the strings, but for now, it's just 2 strings. So these are called diads, 2-note groupings, not like triads with 3. So here, F sus 2, no 5th, so just a 1 and 2, kind of dissonant. This song is kind of supposed to sound dissonant. It's kind of a darker song. So there is that. And then, the A minor. Now, instead of A minor, it would sound very different if he did this, like this. So he's doing A power chord. Back to F. Now C, again, just the 5th, 4th strings. So you got to control your thumb. Now E7. But just 6th, 5th, 4th strings. So you don't even really need anything else besides the power chord structure. Back to A minor. So you have to mute the strings, it's a little tricky. I'm muting the 5th string right now. Now on the A, I'm muting the 3rd string. So it's not ringing out. And so me and my student kind of called it it's like a call and response. Here's the call, here's the response. So it's like 2 guitars talking to each other. Only Elliott could really make that work with this real basic simple. It's not simple, but it seems like it's simple, and that's part of the trick. So he was just a master recorder. He could kind of play a trick on your ears. Now eventually he starts strumming the whole chords and fleshing the song out and doing a really nice job of just being tasteful and thickening up the arrangement. The bridge is a good example when he starts going. Starts strumming these whole chords and changing the progression up. Okay, so that's great. And then when he starts singing again, he brings that back. Meaning, so leave me alone, right? And so he brings these full chords back into the later verses and choruses. And he ends the song with a double chorus where he says, needle in the hay. So he's now playing the whole chords. So an evolution of the arrangement there. It's a full arrangement on the Patreon from the beginning of the song to the very end. And you can read through it as well as a chord sheet. And let's go ahead and learn it briefly with it zoomed in. And you can kind of follow along. We're just going to do the intro, verse, and chorus. And then as far as the full strumming chords, if you want, you can see that on the Patreon. But basically, you can just do this, the entire song. And that is one of the parts in the recording that's going the whole time. So that will work. So let's go ahead, zoom in and learn this. So the intro nicely lays out the form for us. So once you do the intro, you're you're pretty much good for the verse and chorus. And then really all that changes is the way that he plays, and that's written out on the tab where he starts strumming the whole chords. But again, you can just get away with this 2-string method for pretty much the whole song. So get your F sus ready. It's sort of an interesting chord here. 3rd fret, 4th string, open 3rd string. We're going to go down 4 times on each chord. All right. Now I'd like you as soon as possible to think of this as and 1 and 2, and then you're changing to the and. The quicker you can do that, the less problems, the fewer problems you'll have. So it's going to be 4 times of F, and then C. This is actually the ending of the form. Okay, so that's 5th, 4th strings of a C chord. So you're switching to the 5th and 4th strings with your right hand. Now in E7, you only strum the first half of the bass, right? The first half of the guitar, which is the bass. 6th, 5th, 4th strings. So the first finger on the 3rd string yet for the E7. Then you go to A5. Okay, so all together. Good. Now the form starts whereas like the lyrics would start here. Okay, so now we're at that point after you do that introductory 4-chord sequence. Now we do the same thing except we go F to A, 5, back to F, C, E7, and then A5. Okay? Now that whole phrase repeats. So let's do that phrase twice in a row. 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. C, E7, A5. Repeat. Last time. Now we've made it to the chorus, okay? So we did 3 phrases of that. If I'm going too fast, I apologize. Just, pause it, go slow. Okay, whatever you got to do to get this form down. Now we go to the chorus. So after we did this 3rd time, this is the 3rd time. C, E7. We land on the A minor 7 here, and we can start feeling the beat as starting on the chord is starting on the 1. 1 and 2 and. So I'll play that transition so you can see. So it's 3rd time. 1 and 2 and. See, I finished the A, and I included the 3rd string open. Instead of A5, I did 5th, 4th, 3rd strings. Then I went down, 1 and 2 and. So I went down twice on those 3 strings, 5th, 4th, 3rd strings. After twice, I added the 1st fret 3rd string, and then 2nd fret 3rd string. And that's mimicking Needle in the Hay. So that's, then we just go down, and then on the and of 4, we release the ring finger. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, on the and of 2, excuse me. Now we land on the C for the 3rd beat. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now C, down, 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 then down, down, 1st fret, and then F over C. So this is 3, 3, 2, 5th, 4th, 3rd strings. That's anticipated. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and on the and of 2, you release your middle finger back to A minor 7. Okay? So I'm going to play that from the beginning of the chorus. Ready? It's not the chorus yet, it's the intro, but it's the chorus form. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. Release C. F over C. Release A minor. Repeat. 1 and 2 and. Release. F over C. Release. Back to the verse. Now it's very hard to teach this without the tab because the tab the order of the chords is always kind of changing. So there's the tab on the Patreon if you want I'm just going to make it available at the $2 level. So if sometimes it can be frustrating to try to learn a song when you can't see it. So there you go. You can check that out if you want. And hopefully this is helpful. Eventually he starts strumming, and there's different chords in the bridge. But you can watch my demo. It's in the demo as well. And if you know these basic chords, it's just a matter of putting the time in to practice it. And a lot of fun to play. It's a really good right hand workout. My down strumming is sort of getting a workout here. So there you go. Enjoy. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and the thumbs up. We'll see you next lesson. Bye.